like this.
Yep.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
301-694-9363. Last week I was like, shoot.
The power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox.
301-694-9363. Gotta call in. Good to see everybody. Oh, it's T in the thing. Terry's like hiding over there. Let me go like this. There we go. We're good now. We got enough TT. Smile at everybody up here. Terry, I'll give you a minute to share latest and greatest. How's that?
That's good.
And then we'll introduce the man of the hour, man of the half an hour. All right, good to see everybody.
From the News Radio 930 Auto Spa Express News Center.
I like the Auto Spa. Go there every day.
Work is expected to begin.
I like them bubbles.
To improve nearly 4 miles of Route 15 between Bassford Road and Route 340.
All right, here we go, folks. One more minute.
Says crews will be milling, paving, and
Let everybody know we are on. Good to see you guys.
on US 15 and the ramp at the US 340 interchange. The work will take place Sundays through Thursdays from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. Drivers should expect some single-lane closures. Traffic will be detoured during that time. The contractor will be using barrels, cones, flaggers, and arrow boards to safely guide
All right, everybody.
through the work zone.
Get ready to call in. $100 gift card we're giving away. What state has the most appreciation from 1991 till now? 301-694-9363. Here we go. Get ready. And then we're going to learn all about the market and appraisals.
Partly sunny, high 85. Do have a 60% chance of those showers and
No more rain. We've had enough. We're good.
Also, tonight more or less the same picture. Showers and thunderstorms at times. Partly cloudy, low.
All right, folks, here we go. Strap in.
Mostly sunny, high about 88, and a chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly in the afternoon. That rain chance.
All right, here we
Yeah, I
go.
guess so. We'll find out in 28 minutes, right?
25 minutes.
25 minutes. Oh.
25. Here we go.
Time's a ticking.
Here we go.
Been on before.
Yeah.
This is your Frederick Real Estate Update, a conversation about the regional real estate market with tips for buyers and sellers. Your hosts, RE/MAX Results, Darren Eager, and Presidential Bank Mortgages.
Hey folks, welcome back to your Frederick Real Estate Update. I am Darren Ayer with RE/MAX Results, bringing you over 20 years experience in the Maryland and PA region, and I also have with me a few people in studio, which is awesome, but the wingman, the one and only from Presidential Bank Mortgage with all the money in that vault over there, Mr.
Terry Kernan.
He's back from Ireland.
Back from Ireland.
Did you bring me some green beer?
No, they don't serve green beer over there.
I still think there's green
A lot
beer.
of Guinness, yeah. Green beer is just for the States on St. Patty's.
That's it. You got that's an American thing, man, not an Irish thing.
So
You-
Heineken's a big beer in Ireland.
Did you get your guineas?
Had a few Guinness.
Few.
A few, yep.
All right.
Moderation, my friend. Moderation.
Had a good time over there. Well, it's good to have
Yeah,
you
it was
back.
awesome.
Thanks for calling in. That's pretty cool how you're able to call in and give an update and all that. And
Yeah.
it was good. So, all right, let's get right on 10-2 because we have a special guest today that we're going to tackle. Good stuff. But before we do, Terry, we're giving away that $100 gift card. Last week, we went over a lot of fun numbers about different states around the U.S. and how much their home values have gone up wherever you live, because we do have listeners from all over the country. And we discovered that Illinois was the worst place to buy a house in 1991 till now to have the best appreciation. It was the lowest on the totem
Which is
pole.
shocking.
It was shocking. I apologize. I said Lincoln, and you were like, Nebraska.
Well, you said Lincoln.
I had to go to the Windy City, and we cleared that up. And I was going to Abe Lincoln, Windy City, all that. Come on, here we go. And but today's trivia question is for you have to call in 301-694-9363. So 301-694-9363. What state in the United States has had the highest appreciation, values going up the percentage most since 1991, okay? And so whoever calls in, and we're going to give a $100 gift card to wherever you'd like. It could be Lowe's, Home Depot, Starbucks, wherever's local. We'll get that for you. So you got to call in 301-694-9363. All right, Terry, let's get into it. Mortgage updates. What's happening real quick?
Real quick, a shout out today. I'm actually acting as the officiant for Hannah Wharton and Vince
Morning,
Falzo.
Jody.
Nice.
Are you calling for a guest?
And that happened at 4 o'clock today, so I put in an order for good weather, and it
Yes.
looks like
Good
it's
for
going to
you.
be here.
Nice.
So best of luck and to Hannah and Vince.
Morning,
They're an
WFMD.
awesome
Calling for a
couple.
guest?
I don't know anybody else that goes to
Who's
Ireland
first
and then
place?
comes back and does an officiating of a wedding and does mortgages
I'm
and
sorry?
like you name it.
Yeah, Mary Susan doesn't see a lot of me, and so
Can I get your first name?
so yeah, I'm dealing with that.
All right, hey, really quick, mortgage stuff.
All right,
what's
mortgage.
happening? News.
So what we're taking a look at, and I'll be very quick because not a whole lot's going on. Everything is kind of becoming focused on
Okay, let me get your first
two
name,
things. The consumer price index,
Hold on,
which was lower than expected last month. And then the second thing that they're keeping an eye on is the unemployment. So those figures have already come out early in the month, and they're going to come out early in July. A lot of the figures that we see, the bond market and the stock market and the people that really dictate our interest rates are listening to what Chairman Powell says, and he's saying that more interest rate hikes are probable, okay? But he's also said they're only probable if the information dictates it, okay? So all eyes are going to be on the consumer price index, the producer price index, which will be in the second week of July. Big number, unemployment, and we've talked about this. They're trying to break the unemployment, they're trying to break the labor market, and they're trying to do it by raising these interest rates. So jobs number comes out on the 7th, July 7th at 8:30 a.m. Circle that time, circle that date. That's going to be very, very, very important. What have I seen rates doing? Rates have drifted back up. Remember last week I said, hey, anybody that listened to me, floating, did a good job. This past week, they've gone back up. So it's all hinging on what Chairman Powell does and what he says. But the three numbers that we got to keep an eye out for, the most important are CPI, PPI, and jobless rate. So that's it.
Alrighty. So we have a few people on the phone lines that have called in to do our trivia today for the $100 gift card. What state in the United States has the highest level of appreciation in the United States? So, all right, our producer's going to put that person through. I think his name is Diana. Diana, is Diana there? Hey, Diane, how you doing today? Welcome to your Frederick Real Estate Update. Thanks for listening. What state has the highest appreciation? West Virginia. No, not quite, but not too bad off. West Virginia's done pretty darn good over there, believe it or not, but thanks for letting us know. And we're going to get to the next person. Thanks so much. All right, next person up is Dean. Dean, how you doing today? Northern Virginia, the state of Virginia. Nope, Northern Virginia or state of Virginia is not the state that has the highest appreciation. So, all right, we'll keep the phone lines open up. 301-694-9363. Let us know what state has the highest appreciation. I'm going to give everybody a clue out there. It's a place I love to go hiking every year. I love going hiking out there. All right, let's get into it.
Birthday, maybe?
Yeah, that would be the big one when I did it. I loved it.
Answer,
Go
guys.
check your Facebook
All
page.
right, check my Facebook or whatever. All right, let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the one and only today from Six McClain and Associates. We have Mr.
Kenny McClain.
Kenny, thanks for coming on. This is one of the appraisers in our area who's been around forever. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing it, and the most important thing everybody wants to know is what do you like or dislike the most about being an appraiser? Tell us.
Well, I'm Kenny McClain. Thanks for having me back again with Six McClain and Associates. I've been doing this for going on 17 years now. So it looks like I'm stuck with this throughout the rest.
You're committed.
I'm committed, yes.
You are.
It's a 7-day-a-week job most time.
Sounds like real estate and mortgages.
There you go.
All right, what do you like the best about being an appraiser over these 17 years?
Honestly, the best thing I like about it is meeting people. Not sitting at a desk 8 hours straight, going out, and the flexibility of scheduling. And most people are just fun to be around.
All right, is there anything you don't enjoy about doing this?
The changing market. After COVID, everything just kind of went AWOL. And just to try to follow what is happening on a monthly basis is it's gotten pretty tough.
All right,
Right. That's why we've got you on the show today. We want some advice and some
Well, we'll see what we can
guidance
do.
here.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of stats, a lot of things. We have Antoine on the phone. Antoine, I believe. Antoinette, sorry, Antoinette, good to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in. All right, what state has the highest appreciation since 1991? If you live there, your house went up more than anywhere else. No, everyone's going to think California, and I can tell everybody it's not New York, it's not Virginia, and it's not Florida. So we need somebody to call in and tell us what state to get the $100 gift card today. All right, thanks for tuning in. All right, next up here, Kenny, let's get right on into it. All right, most of the public they ask us, what methods and approach do you use as an appraiser to determine value for a property? Like, what's the method of your madness with the actives, pending, sold, and how far back do you go, and all those ideas like that?
Well, the three general methods for appraisal for residential appraising is the sales comparison approach, which is the number one method. We also use the cost approach, which is more applicable when you're talking about new construction, and so forth. And then the income approach is more for investment properties. We do a lot of 2 to 4 unit properties, like in downtown Frederick City, and that's where that approach. But the sales comparison approach is what we use to figure out, try to figure out the value the best we can.
And that's what we use in our business to basically the forms, the Fannie Mae and the Freddie Mac forms are basically off of the sales.
They're primarily focused on, all of them have all the options, but they're primarily focused on the sales comparison approach.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. What if there's a lack of data?
Go back in time, spread your search. Start small, and then I was doing a new construction this morning, working on one up in rural northern Frederick County.
First name, please.
I had to go back to late 2021 to find one of the better comps,
Really?
and make adjustments all the way through June of 2022 when the market was appreciating to that time.
How much of an adjustment did you make for time on that?
Oh, at least 0.5% a month, and I'm still working out the adjustments on that job, but up till June of 2022, which we're going to get to that time frame here in a little bit throughout our discussion.
All right. On phone lines, 2 people are on. Jeff, real quick for our $100 gift card. Are you there? Arizona, that would not be it. No, sir. But thanks for tuning in. Phyllis.
Warm.
You're getting warmer. You're getting you're getting warmer.
100 degrees warm.
Yeah, Phyllis, I believe you're there. All right, Phyllis, thanks for tuning in. What state?
Ding,
She's
ding.
the winner,
Yeah.
Colorado. Ding, 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 ding. All right, Phyllis. Yep, 296%. So if you have a house in Colorado, stay there. It's going up more than anywhere else. Well, over the course of time. So Phyllis, stay on. Our producer's going to get your address and all your information for us, and then I will get in touch with you, okay? All right, thanks so much. All right, Kenny, let's get right back to it. What is the most difficult property to appraise?
I know you guessed farm when you sent me this set of answers, but I would say that honestly, new construction is one of the most difficult properties to appraise.
Wow.
Outside of the subdivision.
And he looks at me because he does all of our new construction.
It's tough because
construction perms.
most of the construction loans are construction perms where the owner buys the lot and the builder builds the house.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, we can't combine those two values together to use that property as a comp later on in life, even though it's listed in MLS as a full sale. That honestly is one of the hardest ones to do.
Okay, so a brand new home, not in a subdivision.
Not in a subdivision.
But on like a 1, 2, 5, 10 acre lot
Sure.
or whatever is the more difficult one.
There's lack of data. Like I just said,
Okay.
I had to go back to 2021 to find a great comp this morning.
All right. Let's get into market news and data. This is what everybody wants to know. Let's talk about the stats and where is the market? Where was the market? Was it like a year ago with rates when they were around 3% versus now everything from the value appreciation to where we are now versus then? Where do you think we're going to land on December 31st? What about buyer demand? And who are the sellers now? What's the inventory look like? And why are we having this gridlock?
Well, let's see what we can figure out. I mean, a great place to start is 1 year ago. Last year at this time, prices peaked in Frederick County as interest rates rose above 5% and then above 7% by November. We ended the year with average sales prices right around where we started the year last year. We basically saw a large increase and then a decline right back to where we started last year.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And then as we started through this year, as we got into February, prices just began to increase. Inventory dropped from 350 houses January 1st down to 240 by March. It was a very swift change in the market. And we saw it coming, and the biggest indication was appraisal addendums. Saw one, then 2, and then 3, and I knew something about the end of February to March was really going to start changing, and that's when it did.
So, Kenny, for our listeners who, well, we do have a lot of realtors and builders and loan officers that listen to the program, but what is an appraisal addendum for somebody that doesn't know?
Well, I think Darren would probably be able to answer that as well. But people are willing to pay, whatever over the appraised value. Most of the time, that's a cash down payment above what it appraises for. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of people argue that when it doesn't appraise, but they have that addendum, and they're still then it comes back to I really didn't want to pay that much.
Right.
And I've seen that happen a handful of times this year already.
Yes.
And I'm sure
seen
you
it
probably have too.
I've seen it a couple of times where they're like, well, and
I
it's
just
card
wanted
plate's
the
a card
house.
plate, okay? you can,
But
So the last couple of years, we've had double-digit appreciation during COVID and all that. Some of the most highest we've seen in a trend and all that. So for this year, where are we at right now, year to date, 6 months in, state of the union address, if you will, the market? Where are we at?
this year to date, we are at an increase of approximately 5 to 7%. Each market's different. I mean, the segment of the market, but average overall prices in Frederick County have done a straight line appreciation from the first couple weeks of January, and we are adjusting when we're for time and date of contract, not date of sale, but date of contract. At least 0.9% per month or a little bit more.
What about where you're at, though? I mean, we've got people in Thurmont, Emmitsburg, the North County, we call it, and then you've got Frederick, and then you've got down in Imesville, and of course Urbana and all that. Is there a difference? There's two big things. Is there a difference with location, with appreciation, and also price points? So if a home's $300,000 or $500,000 versus something that's $1 million.
Well, you talked about the rural market areas, Thurmont and Brunswick. Those are some of the most affordable places in Frederick County to buy right now. I mean, an amazing stat right now is that we only have 14 houses on the market under $300,000.
Holy
in
cow.
all of Frederick County.
wow.
Before COVID, that number, I don't have the exact stat, but that number was staggering high. Townhouses, the appreciation of townhouses is going from, the mid 150s to the mid 250s, and now these townhouses are now worth $350,000, $400,000.
Wow.
After
14
COVID.
under 300.
14 under 300 as of last Monday.
That's
Active
unbelievable.
listings. So the affordability of Frederick County is getting pretty bleak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big thing too, Kenny, buyer demand. All right, so right now in real time, I just listed a home yesterday for sale. We're starting to get showings, of course, out of the gate immediately. It's on Opossum Pike. It's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath on 1 acre with 3 outbuildings, 2-car detached garage, 2-car port. We put this puppy dog at $443, and so what do you see? Like I told the seller, I said, look, it's over the map. Sometimes we see 20 showings, 5 offers, and sometimes there's properties out there that you see, 5 showings and 1 offer or none in the first week, and then all of a sudden things kick in. What would you say about buyer demand right now?
If you don't have your house under contract in 12 days, then it's overpriced.
Okay.
That's a simple. Last week, the everything
That's
that
coming
went,
from Kenny McClain, the appraiser.
everything
Not Darren. the
everything
realtor.
went under contract in 12 days, and everything that sold last week also went under contract in 12 days.
I've been saying 10. I told my sellers, if you don't have your home under contract in 10 days, you're dead, but thanks.
With that house on the Possum Pike, I'm assuming you had a bunch of showings on that house.
Yeah, I'm going to adjust it to 12 just to be careful because I want to follow the appraiser's lead on that. Here's the thing. Who are the sellers right now? Like, who do you predominantly see selling?
If I had to guess, people that are selling right now are people that are moving out of the area. Because the biggest point is we're going to have low inventory for a long time because of the way the rates were.
How long? Everybody's asking us, how long?
And I could confer with Terry on this, but I would say a couple years.
I have to agree with that.
Wow.
I think we're going to be pressured for inventory for a couple years. Like myself, and I'm in a 3.1 interest rate. Why would I move unless I have to move away from the area?
Yes, and that's the point we've talked about. Or if I've outgrown my condo to where I now have 2 children, I've got a wife,
People aren't moving unless they have to.
Yes.
That's what I see in the market.
Yes.
So what's the answer? Everybody asks me, and especially buyers, what is going to undo this little bit of gridlock? What factors are going to cause us to eventually have more inventory? And I wanted to talk about a balanced market inventory. What does that even look like in our area?
I would say, and Terry would probably agree with this, hopefully, that we need to get interest rates possibly down in the upper 4s, low 5s that would stimulate these people to that that want to sell to put their house on the market.
Yeah, and it'll make people think that they're getting a deal, right? Anytime you think you're getting a deal,
Sure.
we
We saw when it went from 5 to 7%, the market froze.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, here's the strategic question about the market. If interest rates go to 5 or below, the question is how many more buyers will now come into the market in increased demand, more than we have now, that we don't have, in retrospect to how many sellers will be willing to sell. Which one will outdo the other, if you will, because unless there's more sellers willing to sell than buyer demand, we're going to stay at or have less inventory than we do now. What are your thoughts on that, Kenny?
My thoughts, that's a tricky question. I mean, pre-COVID, we thought a balanced market was 1,000 to 1,100.
Okay.
We haven't seen that. And we'll circle back in a couple of years on this when hopefully I think the market would like to see at least 600 or 700 listings. I think that would be an ideal situation. It would get the days on market up to at least give people a chance. Days on market would probably increase to a month or two. And just give more options for buyers. I mean, we got stuck to a point where I think people were buying houses they didn't even want at one point.
People buy homes that didn't want the house. I just want to make sure I flip and win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they were so desperate on low inventory, people were just willing to buy anything.
I think that's when we got on under 100 with the resales for a little while there. We were flipping out, man.
I think one of the things that could increase inventory is if you said on this show, being an expert, that you might as well sell now because your house is going to depreciate. So
I can't honestly say that. I don't see a depreciation coming in this market.
No, and I don't either for the next 2 years.
I mean, we've already been through the price of groceries, the price of gas, and people are still trucking along.
So going back to what you said, Darren, and that number is, if I'm going to sell my house, I'm most likely going to buy. So they even out, right? So the big factor is how much more demand is it? And that's the first-time home buyers. That's the people that are getting back into the market that lost a house 8 years ago, 9 years ago. But first-time home buyers, that number is over 33% right now.
Is it? It's higher? Where are we at now?
Yeah, I think it's around 1 in 3 people that are buying a house now are first-time home buyers. So with that being said, we're going to have a very hard time to catch up. And I think one of the things that can help that is new construction. If we can get more lots, more building, more homes available, more supply, then that will ease the pressure because everybody that's selling is going to buy, right?
Sure.
Pretty much.
Sure.
Pretty much, unless you're, moving on or retiring or whatever the case. But most of the people are going to buy and sell. So that kind of is a wash.
I mean, when you look around Frederick County, we have a lot of new construction going on though right now, and these townhouses are selling like hotcakes as they're being built. I mean, of the 288 listings last Monday, 150 of those on the active market are new construction.
Wow.
So that tells you how low the resale inventory really is.
Yeah, and I think the resale inventory is the thing that we tend to focus on the most, because the builder is a different segment in the sense that, their listings may just be the same house on for 2 years.
Sure. Yeah, the builders do have a lot of spec home listings on there, yes, in the subdivisions, yep.
What about this? Here we go. Average days on market and stuff like that. We've been saying forever. I think, what was it? I've had that we were at median, it was anywhere between 11, average 38 days. And then the sold ones in the last 30 days, it was averaging about 15 days on the market. And of course, Kenny, IO exclude if you listen in. We take out all the new home construction because that skews all the data, so it's always resales.
Sure.
But what about for price points? 0 to 300,000, 3 to 600, 6 to 900, $1 million above. What would you say to a seller, depending on what price point they're in with your data? How long can they expect? What are you seeing? How long can they expect to be on the market before they get an offer?
Well, like we said, we don't have much inventory on the 0 to 300.
Yeah, 14 and less is nuts.
There's 14 houses yet on the market, but their median days on market is 12 days right now for those ones on. The ones that are selling in that price range are on the market this year for an average of 18 days.
Okay.
From January 1st. And then we get to the middle price range, I guess we like to call it.
Yeah, 3 to 600.
3 to 600. Those properties that are actively listing are on the market right now 59 days.
What?
59 days. So if you're on the market for 59 days, you are we'll go back to it. You're overpriced. But the ones that are selling, they're on the market for 22 days.
Okay, the selling ones are
The selling
22
ones are on
days.
22 days, yes.
What about 600 and above? What's that market look like?
600 and above, we got 49 days for the active listings that are sitting on the market waiting for a buyer. And we have 27 days on the market on average from January 1st. So it's all low. If the house is priced correctly, they're selling in a month or less on average.
So the resales that you just talked about, 250 some minus the 130. So we're in the 120 to 130 of resales.
Sure.
Do you have the number of 600 and above? How many of that 130 are 600 and above?
I don't have that number on me because most of the new construction, to be quite honest with you, is townhouses.
Yeah.
There are a lot of spec home townhouses, and those are generally 500 or less.
No, but resales. Do you have
The resale, I don't
number?
have the resale
Okay.
number.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right,
No,
we got
no,
about
no,
four. We got about 4 or 5 minutes in the program, and this is something, Kenny, as you know, everybody wants to know about is what happens. What is an appraisal issue, evaluation problem between the difference between the agreed sale price that a buyer's willing to pay versus the market and what it comes in at based on the data and all the work that you do, which is great. What do people like? People always say appraisal issue. What the heck's going on? What does that mean? Tell us about that. What do you see out there?
The issues were a little more in January, February, and March. We were going back in time to last end of last summer to find good comps. Finally, now with the way the market's been active, we have these good comps.
Yeah.
We have comps that are a couple weeks old, and that's really what we're looking at now. I'm lucky to have them. Another big thing we look at is the pending sales. I don't hesitate to call an agent and ask, hey, give me a hint. I know you can't tell me where it's going to settle, but I'm working on a house right down the street, and if you're going to settle 20,000 more, I mean, I need to anticipate that in order to get the right value on the one I'm working on right now.
I do. I had a call last week from 9 months ago. I sold a house and I had an appraiser call me and they asked questions about, well, was all the rooms had air conditioning? What about this? What about this condition? What about that? Lots of different questions. I had to go back in my mind, and that's what made me think there's value within
Any
items.
help you guys can give us is golden right now.
So what is the process? What does someone do if there is a valuation issue? What can a seller do in any regard? Thoughts on that?
There's a reconsideration of value that they would have to put in with their lenders to say, I just don't. You just can't come out and say I don't like my appraised value. But if you give us concrete evidence or logic as to why, I will go back and I will sit down, whether it takes 10 minutes or whether it takes 2 hours, to go back and look at the data that anybody provides us, especially when it comes back in a reconsideration of value.
Yeah, that's good and fair. All right, 2 more minutes. Pre-sale appraisals. Tell us why that may be a good decision for a seller out there. I mean, Kenny, if something's going to sell in a week or two, why would I need to do that?
You got the husband's opinion, you got the wife's opinion, you got a couple realtors' opinion. For $500, what's a fourth unbiased opinion of value? That's the most important thing.
I love it. And definitely at the end, I want you to share your information so people can get a hold of you. The last question is, where do you see the market for the rest of 2023 and into 2024 with an election? The most important thing we want to know is where value is going to go.
I don't see any significant changes in the market. I mean, I think we're on a nice, slow and steady pace to probably see appreciation maybe between 10 to 12% by the end of the year, as long as we don't see...
But did you just say, Frederick, we could be up 10% this year?
We're up 5 to 7 already, and we're halfway through.
Wow.
So, just doing the math there. unless we're not going to have a rise in interest rates like we saw a year ago today. And then, that's really what I see. I see a slow, steady appreciation in the market. Hopefully nothing will go crazy.
And last year was about how much? Was it about 10 or so, I think?
Last year was no appreciation.
I mean, wait a minute. The whole entire year we were kind of flat out, right?
The whole year we started with an average sales price of just under $460.
Okay.
And we ended with an average sales price of just over $460. So a very, very small appreciation. Now, in the middle of the year, we saw a good bit of appreciation.
Yeah. And so we peaked out there. And the big thing with that's the overarching thing. And of course, it gets very granular with depending on what price point you're in, and if it's a single family or a townhouse or a farm or what have you, or land or whatever. Obviously, that dictates quite a bit on the variance of that.
It's a market segment. Yep.
But man, I am blown away because I've been preparing sellers that we're going to come in at maybe 5, 6, 7%. That would be fantastic considering all datas and everything. So, All right, Kenny, go ahead and share with everybody, how do people get a hold of you to ask questions and to be able to get an appraisal done?
Oh, Kenny McClain at 6 McClain and Associates. I got a wonderful staff here at the office. We've been around for many, many years. 301-694-5626.
All right, thank you so much. And we got a Wawa gift card to give to Kenny so he can get some coffee and
That's
drinks
right.
to stay up till 2 in the morning doing these awesome appraisals for everybody out there. All right, guys, so thanks so much for tuning into your Frederick Real Estate Update. Happy buying and selling, and we will see you next week. Take care now. Thanks, guys. Good seeing everybody.
Awesome job.